Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Healthify Talks podcast. Today is going to be an absolutely great episode because we're speaking to Roshini Goveas, who's a vice president here at Healthify Me. And her story of both personal and professional transformation is nothing short of remarkable. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into both. It's so great to have you on, and I thought we could start at the very beginning of your journey, where you found out you were pregnant with triplets. Could you just tell us a little bit about your life at that point in time?
Prior to being with Healthify Me, I had I was pursuing my chartered accountancy, and post my pregnancy, where I put on about 30 kgs, and I used to I was a housewife and just taking care of the kids. The whole 30 kg weight gained for the pregnancy got me into a lot of health issues. I had swollen joints and I had knee pains. I tried working out by myself. Uh, Decided to hit the gym, do whatever it takes to lose weight, and pretty much I was doing everything on my own. And during this journey, I was pursuing my course on the American Council on Exercises. I was a fitness freak always in the past. Was an athlete at school, at college, and suddenly seeing myself overweight and not unable to do anything was kind of like a shocker for me, which took me back to my fitness roots. And that's when I decided to knock this weight off, take on the certifications, and then join Healthify Me as a personal trainer myself.
What did that whole experience feel like? Because you had always been an athlete, you had always been fit your entire life. So mentally and emotionally, what was the feeling of having that additional weight on you?
Yeah, emotionally, it was a huge baggage because from someone who used to work out a lot and who used to be always very active, hyperactive self, as I am, and unable to do basic stuff there was this point in my life where a day I decided to just get on the treadmill and start trying to lose weight, and about after running slow jogging for about a minute, I turned the treadmill off. I sat on the treadmill and I cried. I was sobbing, sitting on the treadmill, thinking like, oh my God, my life is so over, kind of a scenario. And I had three babies who I was running behind. And that day, I really remember, I would never forget that day where I just broke down, because I knew at that point that I'm going to be alone. I am alone, and I would have to do this journey by myself. So I had to, physically, I was in a lot of stress, right, because of all the aches and pains. But emotionally, it was draining. But mentally, I was very strong, and I knew that I had to pick up the game and get back on track. And there was no stopping me from then. It was a lone journey, I would say that. I was just referring to books, magazines, reading a lot, almost on my own, like absolutely on my own. So that was when I realized that, there's no looking back, that I have to do what I have to do.
When in terms of the workouts, when you graduated from flexibility and ready to exercise, talk a little bit about that process of what exercises you were doing, and maybe speak about a few challenges that you potentially faced in making
Right.
sure that you were hitting the gym every single day.
So there were days, of course, when I couldn't hit the gym, right? So what I follow on in my personal life, even now, like I am back to my college and school weight. I'm still the same weight as that I was in my 12th grade. So, and if I'm missing my workout, it's no big deal. If I miss my workout 1 or 2 days, at this point, I make sure my days are very active. I have a personal lifestyle of, when I'm going to a grocery store and shopping, I don't take the cart. I always use the shopping cart in my hand, not the push cart. So I make a workout of everything that I do in my day. So you're carrying and I take two carts, and then I stop the thing, whatever I want to purchase. I go, keep it down, pick it up, 5-10 times, and you go to the store and you carry this all the way to your car itself, which is a 20 minutes workout. It's like a farmer's walk. Those who are aware of something, a workout that's called a farmer's walk, where you carry weights and walk. It's nothing less than that. So anytime if I have to pick something at home, keep it somewhere on the shelf on top, I make sure I'm squatting and doing that. I've tried to make every movement of mine in the kitchen or while picking the kids into a workout movement, which I have learned from the gym. So squatting with the kids, picking them up, everything started revolving around the movements and the right form that I sort of learned, which gave me the confidence that it doesn't matter if I've not given that hour for my routine in the day. Even if I've skipped that, mentally I make a note that everything else I do in the day is going to be some form of using the workouts into the system, into my system. So that's it works brilliantly because mentally I'm also happy that I've got my workout. It doesn't matter whether it was in a gym or it was at home. So that sort of gave me the confidence that I need to burn calories, I need to get my strength, I need to get my cardio routine, no matter what.
You seem to be very methodical with your approach to fitness. Even at this very early stages when you were doing a lot of reading, you were learning about everything. It seems like you wanted to take a very structured approach. And it makes sense that you moved from an accountant into the ACE certified personal trainer. Could you talk a little bit about why you made the decision to become a personal trainer after this whole experience?
Initially, it was a personal choice. Like I wanted to do something other than just being at home. And chartered accountancy, accounting profession, financial services. It was a little bit of a huge task when I saw the three kids at home. I mean, the responsibilities I know are huge. So I wanted to pick something light and interesting. And I was working out and trying to lose weight at that same point of time. I mean, I'm someone who loves to study and take a certification. And it was just a natural movement into doing the certification. And as soon as I got done with that, I met Tushar from Healthify Me, and it was just, I mean, no stopping at that point. One of my teachers just recommended, why don't you just try out this company? I was just a walk-in interview at that point, and Healthify Me was a startup, and I was one of the first coaches who joined in there. And that was it. I mean, it was just a very casual conversation, which turned out to, building a company of this size.
So there's so many steps from that first interview to getting to where you are today. And you have this. Before we got on this video call, you told us a little bit about this story from the very early days at Healthify Me, and now Healthify Me is such a huge company that is global and it's all over Asia as well. But before that, there was a crux point when you joined. Could you talk a little bit about the story of the early days at Healthify Me?
Yes. So, when I joined Healthify Me and I saw this whole tech, how they have built it, and I was so excited because I was training 5 clients at that point, and standing on the floor, being on the ground, working out with my clients, my personal workouts, and then taking care of home. It was sucking out the energy out of me, right? So when I used this tech augmented system, I was able to chat with 300 to 500 clients at one go. And as I was really excited and killing it out there and talking to people, I know in the other room there were discussions about, hey, we need to shut down this company, and
Wow.
how do we monetize, and just probably next month we don't have money to pay salaries. And it was like two different, ironically different situations. So then we get this email from one of the clients who's used Healthify Me, and who mentioned that we have changed his life. He's lost weight. He's not diabetic anymore. It's under control, and his life itself, how it has changed just because of the way we have supported him in during his fitness journey. And that one email was like a trigger for all of us, almost, that we're not going to let this down, and we're going to, there are users out there who really need us. And coaching on the cloud was something I was never thought of. Like, we had to practically convince people to believe in us, and we had to convince coaches to like just join us, and we're going to do online coaching. And these kind of testimonials and user feedbacks that started coming in, that was like a game changer for all of us. We just put our heads down to work, and we're here now.
That's so interesting. That that's the initial stages, and not many people get to hear about that, but that's the growth story of the company. It seems that within a 10-year period of your life, or maybe even shorter, you went from being an accountant to being a housewife slash a mother to being a personal trainer and then helping grow one of the fastest growing startups in India.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Was it just a huge shock to you, like going through day by day, the consistent change that you were going through? Talk a little bit about that experience in total.
I mean, it was something that was sort of like a metamorphosis of sorts, right? There was no goal of reaching a certain, you know, role, or it was just, we were just building. Like, I know from the team, the Healthify Me team is just, uh, we don't care about designations, and I don't think anybody cares about, oh, what's the role that you have, but everybody sort of, the team was a team that cared about what we were able to deliver, right? A very impact focused team. Which was a brilliant experience for me to work with them, because it was not about, hey, Rosh, you got to do this. It was about, Rosh, you have all of this. You just kill it. Go pick whatever you want and do that. Do whatever you want, right? So the kind of freedom that, and being a woman, that I had enjoyed, to pick up whatever that I wanted to, whether it is in coaching, whether it's in product. With just, even though I had an accounts background, I was working with product team, I was working with marketing team, I was working with design team on how things have to be. And soon it was from a coach, I became a head of trainers, then head of all coaches, and and it just grew. It was not like there was a role that I was gunning for, but it just wanted to better the systems in Healthify Me, right? It was, there was a genuine requirement to make people happy, and that was the single most driver for me, because you deliver one happy person through whatever of the systems that you're building, that person is able to make his family happier, his life happier, and it just goes on and on. So that was the biggest driver for me, and it just helped me grow into, and all of these roles just came in. It was just a a flow of events, I would say, rather than anything planned.
Wow, and it's that journey is truly incredible. I wanted to ask, you mentioned that this idea of having to balance everything, and as a mother, as an employee at a company, even as a friend in your life, how did you manage all that was going on during this period of time?
Oh, one mantra: wake up early. Right? You need those extra 2-3 hours to yourself, if you need to start. I mean, you could conquer so much in the rest of the day. And yeah, I prioritize ruthlessly, and that's the only way. I know, I have to crack the work that I have to finish in the day, and there's no brainer. That's my number one priority, would be that whatever I'm supposed to do, there are other people who look up to me for support, and I have to get that going. And then kids and personal fitness. So this is like the three most things that I prioritize: my work, the kids, and my personal fitness. So rest, everything that comes, was like, I have to manage it. I hit or miss, it's fine. But some of these things which I don't compromise at all, and these are also things that brings me biggest joy. So I know as a woman it gets tough. You have to manage your home, and you have to manage your work, your cooking, and I'm someone who loves to do the cooking at home also. So I manage all of that. But if you are disciplined, and it's a discipline, and if you can maintain the discipline, you can do a lot more work than you expect that you could possibly do. So, and yeah, the waking up a little bit early also gives a little bit of push for the rest of the day.
What time do you wake up, Roshni?
So it used to be like 4:45, 5, when the kids were
Wow.
much younger. But now I have like the luxury of waking up at, say, 7-ish. So I earned that. So
Yes. Amazing. The last thing that I wanted to touch on, Roshni, before we wrap things up, is if there's somebody who is going through a similar journey as you were at the start of this entire process, where they just had kids, and then they're getting on the process of losing weight. If you had one piece of advice for them, what would that be?
You just need to do the right things, right? It's what I see, what I've seen from the hundreds of clients that I've coached, what I've seen is that women tend to think only about the kids or the home, and they just don't prioritize their own levels of fitness. And they always think that, okay, next year, next year, next year, and that year never comes. Like, I know a personal mistake that I would make is that I would wait for everybody else in the family to have eaten before I would have my meal. And no, I just go and just dive into my meal first, because I need the energy to serve the rest of the meal for everybody else. So there's no more like, I'm the last one to eat and stuff like that, right? Like, you need to give yourself that time and importance and just get started. And of course, you need a professional. Like, the mistakes I made from, I didn't have to go through that, the disbulge and being, in bed and all of that. So you need to just make sure you're also connected to the right person to learn what's the right thing that you need to do for yourself. And that makes your personal fitness journey move a lot faster and effectively.
Wow, Roshni, that was truly powerful. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Healthify Talks podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me over here. Thank you all.
And thank you to everybody for taking the time to listen to this episode. We really hope you liked it. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to never miss an episode. We'll see you all in the next one.